Now let's actually bring in our ice cream as a collision source. Okay, so in DOP here, I'm going to find a static object. Okay, and connect that up. We're not going to use a ground plane, so I'll just connect the steal the cable from there, the wire. And in here we need to connect up our ice cream geometry. Right. So what I'm going to do, because we're going to be connecting up paths into here, to make it easier, I'm going to split this pane left and right. And then if you check the pin here, make sure they're both checked. And then when I'll leave this here, and when I go out here, it won't change. I want to keep this in DOPS in the sim, and I want to enter here, so then I can transfer things back and forward. Okay, make things easier. So let's make this smaller first of all. Drop a transform. Press P for my parameters. I'm going to bring it down to 0.11 scale. Okay, spacebar H to home my view. And then drop a collision source. So this will generate what we need to feed into the simulation for it to work. So we got one input and two outputs. And we'll have a look at why. So one output are polygons, and the other output is a VDB representation of that. Okay, so I'll put pol here for the polygons and VDB there. Oh, I'll do that in capital so they're both the same, VDB. And as you can see, it's quite coarse at the moment, but if we take a look here at volume, so we're generating a volume and we're generating geometry. We can change how coarse the volume is there. With the geometry, we don't have any animation. This is more for a moving collider, so we don't need to blend between frames, and we don't need any velocity attributes on this. So let's go ahead and connect everything up to bring this into DOPS. So here we need the SOP path. Okay, so we're going to take the geometry for the SOP path. So you can literally just click, drag, and drop, and it will build the path for you. It's quite handy. And OBJ path, I'm not sure if that's necessary, but we'll put it in anyway. Okay, so we're in collider and then SOP there. And then in collisions, let's go into the collisions. We're going to be using a volume. The mode, we're going to use volume sample. That way we take the volume that we have built. And to actually bring that volume in, we go here to proxy volume. And that will import the volume into DOPS. One more thing I want to change. Well, a couple more things, but let's change this to by size. Okay, so then we kind of implicitly set the size of the voxels. Okay, so maybe if we can get rid of, no, actually, let me see. If I turn that off, display geometry, and turn on collision guide, then we can see this is what Flip will actually see. Okay, these are the actual collision geometry. If you remember from week 1, we did a similar thing with the coffee beans. We were looking at the collision hull. Okay, so this will affect how coarse that is. So what I want to do, we need to connect this with this to make them the same. Okay, so I'm going to right click here, copy parameter, and paste relative reference there. Make sure I've left a 7 at the end, make sure to delete that. So we're just taking this and putting it there. Okay, so if I drop this number, a 1, we'll get a better representation. Okay, so yeah, I think 0, 1 is fine. You know, obviously this does, it's not so bad that it's static. If it was changing geometry, deforming or animated, it could take a lot longer. So the finer the resolution, the slower it will run. I put it up to 0.13. Okay. I think we're good for our collider there.